Bitcoin and the altcoins are pushing back towards the upside right now because of what's shown on this chart. I told you about this chart a few weeks ago in a video I made telling you that on the 24th of March, which is today, we would see a significant push higher in Bitcoin and altcoin prices. And since that's playing out right now, I wanted to show you how to use this chart to identify exactly what we're going to see in the days and weeks ahead for the crypto prices. I'm also going to talk about the different narratives that I'm noticing moving in crypto right now, because I think there's some really good opportunity to make some serious gains by investing in the right altcoins in the right narratives. So without further ado, hit that like button. Let's get into today's video. Now guys, if you're subscribed to my channel and you've been watching the videos I've been making over the past few weeks, then you're going to know what this is all about. And today's big moves wouldn't have come as a surprise at all to you. But if you're still wondering why the market's going up or down on any given day, then let me show you very quickly how to do it. Now what you can see if you look at this chart is the Bitcoin price, and this black line shows you the global M2 money supply. And it's the global M2 money supply with a 70-day delay. Now I'm not going to pretend that I was the first person to ever hear about this correlation. I've heard about this over the last few years from Raoul Pal, who provides some of the best information about understanding global macroeconomics and how they fit into crypto basically anywhere. So go and look up his videos if you want to find out more on that particular subject. But it wasn't until recently that I found this indicator and I learned to apply this myself to the chart so that I can understand exactly day to day what we can expect to happen in crypto. And if you want to apply this yourself, simply go to tradingview.com, click on indicators, search for M2 global, and then select this second one here. Now when you select it, you're going to make sure that you're on the weekly chart, and then you're going to go and click on the cog of this indicator here, and you're just going to write 10. This is going to delay the indicator by 10 weeks, which is really important. Why? Because the global M2 money supply, which is the black line, runs 10 weeks in front of crypto. It does this because it takes about 10 weeks for money to filter its way through real estate, through bonds, and all the other stuff out there in the global markets before it reaches crypto, which is at the risk end of the risk curve. Okay. Yes, I've heard other people saying that there's a more tight correlation between 105 days and this chart, but after backtesting it, I think the most important thing for you to pay attention to isn't really the noise and stuff in between, but more importantly, the bottoms where we see a swing high in these charts and the tops where we see a swing low. Okay, so swing high to swing low. This is where you see the tightest correlation on the 70-day, and this allows you to understand where we see the significant pivots, as in the tops and bottoms of the Bitcoin price. Now, just to keep up to date, the dotted green lines, I've done the swing highs, and the dotted red lines are the swing lows. Now, you'll notice that there is a bit of an area through here, which was the end of 2023 into early 2024, which doesn't quite add up because the Bitcoin price is going up, but the liquidity is going down. And I've identified the reason for this, looked at the dates. It's all because of speculation around the Bitcoin ETFs. Lots of people were buying Bitcoin anticipating the ETF coming in while the liquidity was falling, which was bearish. There was incredibly bullish news in the crypto space, which was pushing Bitcoin and crypto higher. Which is why we see this mismatch. Ever since then, it's pretty much perfectly to the day matched up though. So why the 24th of March? Well, as you can see, this is the 24th of March, and this is the week commencing 24th of March. We see a dip down, and then we see this rally in the global liquidity. And what's important is this global liquidity move takes us all the way back to the same area that we saw back on the 9th of December, which is pretty much when we saw the top of the altcoins, Bitcoin, etc. Yes, Bitcoin did come a little bit higher after, but actually the entire crypto market was much higher here than it was later on because the altcoins didn't recover quite so well on that second push, which means that we can expect altcoins, Bitcoin, to return to the levels that they were at in December by around the 26th of May, which from the 24th of March, it's only 2 months away. So we can expect some aggressive upside to come ahead. But I know what you're thinking. This week, there's some scary news happening across the markets, across the world. We're hearing about Donald Trump talking about tariffs and all these other things. But I want you to consider something. You may have noticed, if you've been paying attention to the news versus this black line, that if you go and plot certain pieces of news against this black line, it might start to reveal a bit of a kind of game plan that you might not have been privy to before. And you may have realized that around the times that we were up here and we saw the stock market pretty damn high, there was a huge amount of bullish news being released across the markets. Everyone's speculating in crypto on Donald Trump coming in and what it meant for crypto. We then saw Donald Trump take office, weirdly, at the top of this particular spike here. All the time, though, we saw liquidity decreasing. So that's why, despite the fact we were hearing bullish news event after bullish news event, the crypto prices continued to plummet towards the downside. Now, since we were getting very bullish news at the top, we started to get very bearish news at the bottom. But all of a sudden, news has started to return to being a little bit more positive. Just yesterday, we saw Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy coming in and saying that he was buying lots of Bitcoin again. It's weird how he only seems to buy Bitcoin when the sentiment in the crypto market is good. You would have thought a guy with that much experience about investing would be buying the dips. But no, it seems he only buys after some significant pumps, or at least that's what he tells you. Now, notice how he's part of the game. We've seen a shift in sentiment this week, which is why many of you are now like, oh, we're going up because of the news. No, guys, we're going up because the liquidity is going up. The news is the smokescreen to confuse you. And everyone's been panicking about tariffs. But guess what? Donald Trump has now come out and said, there's going to be some flexibility on the tariffs that I'm going to impose this week, which he's basically saying is, yes, we can actually go back on our word on what we've said about the tariffs because we're going to have some flexibility, which means he's basically achieved his goal of trying to push other countries back into the corner to get himself the best deal, but he's probably not going to go and enforce full tariffs on them. As soon as we get that news, we're going to see another further push in the crypto markets as the market makers continue to push us higher. Remember, it's the market makers who are pushing us higher, not the news events. The news events are just covering all that up. So as you can see, in the days and weeks ahead, times are looking very good. Does that mean that we can't possibly see any pullbacks? Well, absolutely not. If you go to the daily chart, and remember you have to change this to 70 so that it can match up again, then you can see that we have lots of times in the past where we've had kind of ups and downs on the way out. While the liquidity is growing, we still see lots of spikes up and spikes down. But the overall trend, if you zoom out over the coming weeks, is towards the upside. So whether or not we see little dips down towards tomorrow or whenever, it doesn't really matter for us. Okay, it's just telling us that we might have a little bit more time, and really your best chances are not to buy on days like today and maybe wait for tomorrow if we get a little pullback, or the day after if we get a little pullback. Now, this is not necessarily going to be the most accurate thing ever, and I wouldn't rely on this from day to day in terms of telling me whether or not tomorrow is going to be a green day or a red day, because I think there's going to be some data lost amongst this. But on the weekly chart, it seems to be pretty damn reliable. Now, guys, just a quick thing. I would love it if you could give me some support. I've created a new Twitter page. As you know, I got hacked a few months ago and lost my Twitter page. Currently, I've created a new one. It's called Peter Anthony, Peter_THOC. Give me a follow over on there, please. I update you daily on the information I'm covering in this video, talking about different coins I'm personally buying into at any given point. So if you want quick updates, whatever's happening without having to wait for videos, give me a follow over on that page there. And I see many people asking me, is it too late to buy into AIXBT, just as an example? Now, I ask you this. If you wanted to buy this coin anyway, because you've done the research and you think that AI agents are going to see a massive comeback, I also think that, then you will probably go to yourself, well, yeah, but it's been pumping a little bit hard in the last few days. And you would be right. If you're looking at this on like a 1 hour chart, you're probably thinking, oh, I need to wait for a significant pullback before I buy in. I don't really want to buy in up there. And yes, you do get these pullbacks. But guys, all you are doing right now that's causing you so much drama is zooming in too close. If I zoom out to a weekly chart, I'm asking myself, is this good value right now? Bearing in mind that back to all-time highs is going to give me almost an 8x. It's just insane. Okay, so most of the coins that you're looking at right now, if they're showing some sort of signs of life down here, then they're probably going to be pretty solid bets. I think 95% of the coins that you hold in your portfolio will see recoveries back towards the upside. Where I think there could be some coins that don't really recover back towards the upside, maybe meme coins could struggle. Particularly some of the smaller cap meme coins that you got involved in off the kind of like the pump fund drama. But I think that we will see another kind of meme rally, but more likely in the AI agent meme rally kind of side of things. Now, where have I noticed significant upticks happening in my portfolio over the last few days? Well, I have noticed the larger caps starting to show strength again. Larger caps, Sui, Aptos, XRP, Ondo, you name it. Why do these coins pump? Well, because they're all available on Binance. They all have perpetual futures contracts enabled, okay, which means Binance is using its market makers to move these coins around, knowing that retail investors like yourselves will typically go and FOMO into them and provide the liquidity they want to push them higher or liquidate you, whatever. But ultimately, these coins are a pretty sure bet in terms of seeing a significant move in the earlier days. And just picking coins randomly across the list here, AI coins seem to have been performing well. This is Delesium. AI agents and AI agent infrastructure stuff is starting to see some good recovery. I do think that AI will see another resurgence. It always does. Every time the markets start to show strength once more. Again, Sensei, a coin that people keep asking me about. Guys, I still hold this coin. Yes, it came down a lot, but I'm pretty confident that in a few months that Sensei gets back to all-time highs and beyond. Just back to all-time highs, you're looking at nearly a 10 or 11x. Absolute no-brainer that this goes back to all-time highs and beyond. In just 2 weeks, previously in 2 weeks, it rallied like 619%. Won't surprise me at all to see this return. Now, I'm not picking favorites here. I'm just going through and just choosing coins at random as I can see them on the list here. And many coins out there are seeing good recoveries back towards the upside. The main recovery areas for me, AI, I'm seeing lots of push up, and real world assets. Other areas that seem to have responded really strongly more recently are DePIN, or decentralized physical infrastructure networks. This is World Mobile Token, who over the last few months have formed key partnerships with the likes of PwC. They've been working with the European Union and building a decentralized world mobile network, basically for using mobile phones, for Wi-Fi, you name it. And this is all very cool, a project that is seeing a lot of growth right now. This is Aether, another DePIN project. It's been through some tough times, but it's starting to rally towards the upside. Now, all of these projects that I've just mentioned, as well as hundreds that I haven't got the time to mention on this video, I will make a portfolio video probably tomorrow or the next day, as promised, telling you what I'm now holding, although these are a little bit of a clue what's in there. You will start to see significant recoveries across the board. Okay, so whether or not in the coming days we see a little bit of chop because of news events or whatever it is, ultimately the liquidity is moving us back until at least May and then probably beyond that. Now, obviously, this line seems to dip off into the start of June. There is a chance that this liquidity index maybe has a little bit of downside action, which means that maybe we have to think about taking profits somewhere towards the end of May. But then eventually after that, we are going to see the dollar continue to weaken. We are going to see interest rates come down. We're going to see lots of other things happening. And if this continues like this, which I anticipate it happening into early 2026, then we are just going to have the bull market that basically is the same as every other bull market we've had so far. We just saw a lot of hype and excitement at the end of last year, taking everyone by surprise. We saw Donald Trump get in, which meant a strong dollar, causing a weakening of this. This was when Donald Trump basically looked like winning the election. If I send this index back to 0, you can see that on the 30th of September, which is pretty much when we started to identify that Donald Trump would be the likely winner of the election, which would then mean tariffs, which would mean a strong dollar. You can see that this basically was the result of the dollar climbing in value. Go across to the DXY, you can see it basically. You see the dollar climbing. This caused the dump in the index. Now we can see the dollar's been dumping. It has climbed a little bit in the last few days. We would like to see it slide off more. I think if tariffs come in a little bit weaker than expected, this is going to send the dollar spiraling down towards the downside. And then this is going to be very positive for crypto over the coming months and years ahead. Now, if you want to know exactly which projects I'm personally holding and projects that I'm going to be talking about throughout this bull market on my YouTube channel, etc., then make sure you are subscribed to the House of Crypto notification bell turned on. If you want to buy any small cap altcoins that I'm going to be talking about on tomorrow's video, coins that I think are going to see some of the biggest gains during this bull market, then make sure you're signed up for a Bitunix account, link down below, and a WEEX account, also linked down below. Both of those links come with their own bonuses. They don't require KYC no matter where you are in the world, and they have a huge amount of different altcoins and low fees as well. So all the coins pretty much that I talk about tomorrow and the next day will be available on these 2 exchanges, so make sure you get those accounts sorted now. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Do me a favor, hit that like button, and let's get ready for a very exciting bull market. See you soon. Bye-bye.